All right, let's jump right into it. Today, we are going to tackle one of the most critical decisions that zero DTE traders make. And honestly, a lot of people get this wrong without even knowing it. We're going to build a purely mechanical framework for choosing between the two titans, SPY and QQQ. Just take a look at this. This is a real-world example. Same day, same exact setup, same entry time of 2:15 p.m. On the left, you've got SY calls that returned a massive 47% in just 38 minutes. Now look at the right. QQQ calls, on the very same setup, a measly 12%. I mean, what gives? And that gap in performance? Well, it wasn't just a few bucks. It was a real-world difference of $1,820 on the same strategy, just by picking a different ticker. So the real question is, how do you make sure you are on the right side of this trade every single time? Okay, before we dive any deeper, we got to do the quick but really important reminder. All of this is for informational purposes only, and it is absolutely not financial advice. Trading options, especially zero DTE, carries a significant risk of loss, so please be smart and be careful out there. All right, let's get into it and solve what I'm calling the $1,800 question. We are going to break down exactly why your ticker choice matters so much, and more importantly, how you can start getting it right. So, why does this happen? Is one ticker just luckier on any given day? Is it a coin flip? Absolutely not. There's nothing lucky about it. The answer is completely mechanical, and believe it or not, it's predictable if you know what to look for. See, the difference boils down to these three core mechanical factors: volatility, liquidity, and, you guessed it, the time of day. Each one of these affects SPY and QQQ in totally different ways, and understanding them, well, that's the whole key. So, this brings us to our first major concept, which is this battle between volatility and liquidity. I really like to think of this as the fundamental trade-off between QQQ's raw speed and SPY's incredible stability. So, let's look at the raw numbers here. With implied volatility, QQQ's IV is typically 30 to 40% higher than SPY's. Now, what does that mean for you? It means that for the same dollar move in the underlying index, QQQ options can give you a much bigger percentage return. You get more bang for your buck, right? Well, not so fast. Because here's the catch. That higher volatility, that speed, means QQQ's value bleeds away due to theta decay almost 50% faster than SPY's in that critical final hour of trading. If the price just chops around or stalls out, QQQ will absolutely destroy your position's value way quicker. Now, this brings us to another super important concept, the pin effect. This is the tendency for a stock price to get magnetically pulled toward a strike price that has a ton of options volume right as it gets close to expiration. And this effect, this is where SPY has its biggest, most powerful advantage. See, because SPY has 3 to 4 times more options volume than QQQ, its pinning action is just incredibly precise, about 40% tighter to be exact. SPY gets pulled into this very narrow, predictable range, while QQQ's pin is wider and just way less reliable. For certain types of trades, this is a huge edge. Okay, on to our next big factor, time. It's not just what you trade, but when you trade it. And this leads us to what I call the 2 o'clock rule. Because in the world of zero DTE, the clock is everything. The entire game completely changes after 2 p.m. Eastern Time. This window, from 2 o'clock to 3:30, is what we call the active pin phase. This is when all those liquidity and volatility factors we just talked about, they go into overdrive, and your ticker choice becomes absolutely make or break. So here it is, the simple rule. After 2 p.m., you stop guessing and you start observing for those first 30 minutes. If both tickers are just settling into a tight range, you know the pin is on, and you trade SPY for its precision. But if one ticker is clearly breaking out with momentum while the other is just stuck, you go with the one that's moving. It is as simple as that. Okay, so let's put all of these pieces together now into a complete, actionable decision framework. This is going to be your go-to checklist for every single trade you take. So how do you actually take these concepts, volatility, liquidity, and time, and turn them into a clear decision when you're in the heat of the moment and the market's flying? Well, you do it by asking yourself 3 very simple questions before you click the buy button. First, how long do you plan on holding? Is this a quick in and out scalp or a multi-hour trade? Second, what's your setup type? Are you playing a tight pin range or are you trying to catch a big directional breakout? And third, what time is it? Are we before or after that critical 2 p.m. window? And this matrix right here, this is your cheat sheet. It shows you exactly how those questions lead to a clear mechanical answer. You know, if it's 11 a.m. and you're playing a long compression trade that could take hours, you choose SPY to minimize that faded decay. But if it's 2:30 p.m. and you see a clean breakout, you want QQQ for its explosive potential. You see, you're no longer guessing. You are matching the right tool to the right job. And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. This is never, ever about which ticker is just better in some general sense. It's always about which ticker's unique mechanical properties fit your specific setup on this specific day. So now you have the framework. The only question left is, which ticker does your own personal trading style really favor? Are you more of a patient, long-hold trader who can really benefit from SPY's stability? Or are you a fast, aggressive scalper who thrives on QQQ's speed? Think about it. Hey, if you got some real value from this mechanical breakdown, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, share it with another trader who needs to see this, and of course, subscribe to Elite Type Braid Radar for more deep dive trading frameworks just like this one. Thanks for watching.